that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount+.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric.
Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount+.
So in Group I, France and Norway know that they're going to be in the round of 32, but only one of them will progress as the group leader. Meanwhile, Senegal and Iraq aim for their first win in the tournament and potentially to be in the conversation for being a top 8 third-place team. So just a reminder of the two fixtures in Group I to come: Norway and France in Foxborough, while Senegal take on Iraq in Toronto. A reminder of the table as well. The top two are on 6 points, looking good. Meanwhile, Senegal and Iraq both looking for their first points of the competition. One win, though, may be enough to get them through to the next round, but a draw does neither team no favours today. Welcome along, everybody, to Golazo Matchday 48 Nations. Really nice to have you with us. I'm Poppy Miller, alongside Darian, Jenkins, Nigel Reo-Coker and Tony Meola, who had a late night last night with the US men's national team. You were here till what, Tony?
1 a.m. Yeah, it was this morning, Pop, but we're all good here. Rested and ready to go because today's a massive day.
It is. And today couldn't be better, really, for this group, because I think, Nigel, there was a lot of excitement right around this group in particular, especially with Norway and with France. It's kind of played out how we expected, but there's still a lot to be determined now in the group on the final match day.
Yeah, there still is. I'll even put Senegal in there because of how we've seen Senegal and what they've done as a nation, thinking that this would be a real great group to see and witness. And, you know, you've got Norway and France, and I'll probably say Norway really have surprised me. I didn't really give Norway the credit. I know they've got Erling Haaland and, you know, Odegaard, but for me, I didn't think that they would do as well as they've done so far. Really been a great surprise. France, we know about the quality of them. So now you've got 1 and 2. And then for the other two, Senegal and Iraq, it's win and you're in. So it's as simple as that. And it's a very simple objective for the players to be able to take on board on what this game means today. So 2 good games.
It's crazy, isn't it, to think it's been 28 years since Norway have been in the World Cup. Meanwhile, the other end of the spectrum, France, who obviously won it not too long ago, Darian, and were in the final last year. You've got a soft spot for them, haven't you? Played professionally in France. Have you been impressed with what you've seen?
I'm always impressed with this side. I mean, when we talk about the teams that have depth and can create longevity and truly rotate their squad and not drop in quality, France is that team, I think, besides anyone else. I think we look at some of the other teams that have really big players like a Haaland or a Messi, and they don't necessarily have the surrounding cast that can kind of pick up the weight that that player has. And I think with France, that is a team that absolutely can. They can rotate and really rest players. And I don't know if we'll see that today because this is a star-studded cast that want to come out and play against Norway, but just a strong team, and I'm always impressed by how they played.
You really like the French?
I do love the French.
You like the French?
I do.
What do you like about the French? Tell me.
I love the style of play. This French squad, you're saying?
French people in general. I took you out of the football. I'm talking about French people.
Wanted to clarify.
I'm surprised.
Why? I lived in Bordeaux. I loved it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't live in Paris?
I wasn't in Paris. I was in Bordeaux. I was in wine country.
You're not a fan of
Nigel, what don't you like about them?
No, I don't mind them. Very direct. Very direct, the French, the Parisians.
I don't mind them, he said. So you tolerate them.
Listen, I grew up in Europe, so I've got a lot of experience with European friends. The French are acquired taste, should I say.
They are very direct.
They're very, very direct
I feel
people.
like you would like that.
At times, but sometimes it can come across a bit rude. But yeah, it was good.
There is a bit of beef, isn't there, between England and France for some reason, especially.
Yes, there is. It's great though. I mean, that's one thing I love about living in Europe and how we get to see, you know, the Germans, the French. You learn about the culture, you understand the football side of things and everything. So a lot of people don't have the experience of understanding the culture and the people and how they are. And it's the same way, because with the French national team, I played with some French boys as well, and I know what they're like and the mindset, and it's absolutely amazing.
So he tolerates the people, but guess what, everybody? He absolutely loves the wine. He brings in
love the wine. And
so
one day I will get the wine that Poppy owes me, but I love the wine. Last
time we brought in a wine for this show, actually, in particular, it took us all day to open it because we didn't have a bottle opener, and then the cork ended up in it. So we didn't get to actually
That's because we've tried to move too much and go technology and electronics. It's just gone old-fashioned way.
We should have.
Wasted all the time, we did.
So this is what's at stake today with the group then. France win or draw against Norway because they own the goal difference tiebreaker. Norway, they've got to beat France to go through as the group winners. And as we mentioned for the other two as well, it's essential that they win. For the opponents that they could face in the next round, Sweden is a 99% chance, and the second place opponent is the Ivory Coast. So this is really interesting, isn't it? Because we'll get to the lineups later on in the show, but it looks like France is going full strength and Norway kind of the opposite. Do you think, Nigel, that the outcome of this wasn't worth the risk for Norway to try and go for it today against France?
I mean, you got to look at it from both ways in the reality of it. When you look at France, you look at the strength in depth, you can't question it. There's no other nation that can compete with them when you go for quality in the strength of the squad that they have. Norway, you'd have to say for them, they feel objective is done. Is it really worth taking a risk with any of your real starting lineup when you know you're already going to get through to the next round to play France for a game that might not mean too much to finish first or second, but then there's a greater risk of an injury. So if Erling Haaland plays in this game today and gets injured, the manager's going to have to deal with the questions of why did you play him? You didn't need to play him. You know, you could have rotated your squad. So I can understand from a Norwegian standpoint what they're doing. They're looking ahead, they're planning ahead, which for me, I would say is the right thing to do. I don't know what Tony's take on it, because Tony's had experience as a manager or coach, but I understand where they're coming from.
We had this with the U.S. team, right? It was rotation or rhythm. Those are the two decisions, and Stolbaken's gone for rotation here, right? As Nigel said, he seems content with second place, right? He locks it up, and who knows? They might win a game today, but when you look at these two lineups, it seems unlikely, right, that Norway is going to get anything done. I saw France against Senegal in Matchday 1 live. I saw Norway against Senegal. I think what we've seen from those two teams is they can compete, certainly France, with anybody in the world. Norway is going to be a tough out, but they're not nearly as deep as Darian says, and we knew coming into this. This French side was the deepest team in the competition. We were just before coming on, we were looking at their bench. We're like, and we've said it time and time again, that bench can compete with so many of the teams in this competition, right? So Didier Deschamps' group, although he's not there today dealing with family, a passing in his family, they've made a decision that says, you know what, we're going to keep rhythm. On the other side, it's about rotation. So we're seeing two different managers do two different things today. I
would say keep rhythm while Mbappe saying I'm playing. There's a race for that golden boot, golden ball.
Yeah.
Mbappe is not sitting on the bench for no one. He wants to compete.
Do you think that that's why? Because he wants to win the golden ball this tournament?
1,000%.
Yeah.
He's a big voice. He wants to play. He wants to score as many goals. And then when you're at that level, you already look. You see what Messi's doing. You see Ronaldo scored again. Harry Kane, all those players. So you're going to be competitive.
Really interesting as well with the third place table, because we've seen it change so many times. Only Bosnia and Herzegovina, Ecuador and Sweden have qualified through this route. And then you can see Paraguay, Croatia, South Korea, Algeria, Scotland, as of right now, are just about in there. But as we know, still a lot of football to be played, which could kind of change the outcome of these third place finishes. For more on the matches we've got to look forward to today, our betting expert Buckets is here with us. Good to see you, Buckets. I guess we'll start with this game. What have you got for us in the betting world today?
Good to see you as well, Poppy. I am here for just the bets today. No beer chugging, no beer drinking, nothing to do with beer at all on the show. Just want to acknowledge that first and foremost. When I'm looking for money in this game, though, It's tough because the lines have moved so aggressively after Norway's lineup announcements. France to win went from -140 to -280 now. So there's not really value just betting on France to win. But I'm going to do the same thing I did to both of the first games. Michael Olise to get an assist right now is +160, just under 2-to-1 odds. As you guys mentioned, Mbappe is just hunting for goals. And on a backup keeper and a backup Norway back line, wouldn't be shocked if Mbappe gets 2 or 3 today. And if that's going to happen, why would you not just bet on Olise to keep threading him the ball over and over again as he's been doing?
Buckets, that sounds really, really enticing. I would like to ask you, what are your bets for Senegal and Iraq?
Senegal and Iraq, I've got a bet there as well. Looking at Senegal, not only do they need to win, but they got to help on the goal differential a bit, being at -3. And luckily for Senegal, Iraq is a team that you can really just kind of, use as a punching bag in this situation. And we know that Senegal's attack is good enough. Sadio Mane, these players are scoring goals, scored twice against Norway, once against France. Now they got to score at least 3, in my mind, against Iraq. So Senegal, 3 or more goals in this game, again at plus money, +100.
Love it, Buckets. Love to see lots of plus money there. What about the later on games, the 9 o'clock slate in particular?
Looking at that Cabo Verde versus Saudi Arabia match, and this is a very tough one for me because no team has cost me more money than Cape Verde in this tournament. I am consistently betting against them, and they're saying, Buckets, shut up. We're going to handle business, whether it's a draw against Spain or a draw against Uruguay. They are playing phenomenal footy that no one expected right now. Going with Cape Verde on the draw, no bet, which means as long as they do not lose, I'm okay in this game. If they win outright, I cash my ticket. If it ends in a draw, you get your wager back. No harm, no foul. I just don't have faith in what Saudi Arabia is doing right now. And this Cinderella story, I do think will go one step further.
Buckets, what about the game with Uruguay and Spain? How do you think that one's going to turn out?
I'm against everyone on this one. People are telling me that Uruguay is going to keep this cagey and close, and they're going to play for that well-fought draw, and I just don't care. Spain's too good. I think Spain are going to roll over them, and I don't think it's going to be close. But the fact that I can get Spain to score 2 or more goals in this game at +100, whether you rest players or not, if Yamal's on the bench, fine. If Williams on the bench, fine. This team has so much depth, and with how leaky Uruguay's been, I think even if they rotate, Spain are good enough to get at least 2 goals here at even money.
Buckets, go to the late game. Belgium, for me, has been a little bit of a disappointment here. New Zealand, who's had some spark in this competition. What do you have there?
I've got both teams scoring in this game at -110. Belgium has been a massive disappointment, not just in this tournament, but for the better part of the last decade for me. I consistently back this team, and I'm consistently hurt by their lack of performance. In New Zealand, they were the lowest ranked FIFA club coming into this competition, and they have maybe not been winning, but they've been putting up way more fight than anyone expected. I love what Chris Wood is doing with this squad, and I expect them maybe not to win, but they're good enough to score against a Belgium side that seems to be in disarray right now.
I like a Chris Wood on the score sheet. That sounds good to me. What about the last one, Egypt and Iran, Buckets?
Last one for Egypt and Iran. I'm taking the easy one. I'm taking the chalk, as we call it in the betting space. I don't want to overthink this one. I think it's going to be low scoring. I'm looking at a 1-0 for Egypt, maybe a 1-1. But Mo Salah to score or assist being at plus money, +120 with the form he's in. He is the guy that everyone will be looking at Egypt to get the job done and get them through to the knockout stage. There might be value on Marmoush as well, but I'm just going to go with the guy that's consistently performing and take Salah to score or assist.
I like the odds for that as well. Buckets, of all of the bets you've just given us for today's full slate, which one are you most confident in? If people are just thinking, I just want to put one bet on today, which one would you tell them to do?
If you only bet one, Mia, look at Michael Olise to have an assist in this game. I've got France putting up a minimum of 3 goals against a rotated Norway side. And if Mbappe is going to get his brace, we got to believe that Olise is going to be a part of it.
Okay.
Buckets, you haven't learned your lesson, have you? Out of all those bets you just said there, you still didn't go with Cabo Verde. They've continued to slap you in your face, and you still go against them.
I still like them, just not my favorite. They can slap me one more time if they want to, Nigel.
Yeah, that should be your next holiday destination, Cabo Verde.
Sounds nice to me.
I'll check it out. Yeah, why not?
Buckets, thanks so much. We'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.
All right, stay with us, everybody. After the break, we're going to bring you all the team news to look forward to between France and Norway in just a second.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others, but they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
A crowd here feels electric.
Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Soccer isn't a new game in the United States. The immigrants brought it here in 1912.
The opportunity to play for my country, I just could not pass that up.
We're all very proud of you.
Not everyone is aware of what happened in important historical moments for American soccer.
I was a kid that shouldn't have made it. Kid from Nacogdoches, Texas.
Clint Dempsey Doodle.
Kind of one of those things I wasn't going to be denied.
People criticize me often.
You can't take it seriously. It's the USA.
But I get to have that attention because I'm good.
We were carrying the weight of American soccer on our shoulders.
I'm gonna put it shot.
Probably unfair to 20 guys.
When he looks at you, he looks like he wants to kill you. And I have respect for that.
It's about how much are you willing to give to win.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
The USA has realized its dream.
Dempsey through the wall and what can this kid
And for more stories that have shaped this sport in the States, you've got the US men's soccer trilogy on Paramount Plus, The $1 Billion Goal, You Don't Know Where I'm From, Dog, and Pulisic. Multiple eras, one passion, streaming on Paramount Plus for you. And that's not the only thing you can watch on Paramount Plus. You can also watch all of these French stars as the domestic season will get underway shortly. You've got Adrien Rabiot with AC Milan, Kylian Mbappe with Real Madrid, Ousmane Dembele as well with PSG, maybe a triple Champions League win for them next season, and Marcus Thuram as well with Inter. Speaking of French stars, let's have a look at their starting 11 today, Darian. 4 changes, as we were mentioning.
Yeah, 4 changes, but as we spoke earlier, this team is just absolutely stacked. Mignon in goal, Theo Hernandez on the left, Koundé on the right. I expect them to get high, integrate into the attack with Dembele and Doué, maybe cutting inside, and then Olise in the middle of the pitch, just excellent. You know, we heard Bucket say that he's bound to get an assist today, and then Mbappe. Nigel, I know you're high on him, wanting to or you said that he was wanting to break that record, and he's going to really have that dagger today in front of goal.
Yeah, he's being a typical selfish striker, as the best strikers are. Very selfish individual. And credit, he's got ambition, wants to come out here with a golden boot. So no surprise that he's starting. He's seen what other players in the same level as him are doing, so he wants to continue to get goals. Doué, Elise, and Dembele, it just gets no better than that, really and truly. But I would say, I'll point out an under-the-radar player that I really like. Kone in midfield, number 6, been fantastic for Roma in Serie A. I'm a big fan of him. You talk about midfielders, Tony, like Elliot Anderson now going for record British transfer fee. Kone, for me, what would he be valued at with what he does?
Yeah, no doubt. And you remember, Rabiot started match day 1 against Senegal, right?
Yeah.
So he came into the competition, and that's what Didier Deschamps wanted to do. But I still think they need to unlock Dembele. Even with a goal in the last game, that first match day, it was Barcola that came in and made the difference in the game and opened up the entire way of playing, stretched the field for them. Doué's been really good. You mentioned Elise, right? He's been outstanding the entire season. But Mbappe's the guy. I mean, we've been blessed so far in this competition with all the big goal scorers doing what we wanted to do, score goals, right? And he'll be there at the top. There's no doubt about it with this golden boot.
Mm-hmm. Do you like the fact they're going for rhythm over rest, Darian, with this lineup?
Yeah, I think they can. They are at the riches of having the expense to. They can allow these players to go out and maybe it's 45, maybe it's 60 minutes, and then look at the substitutions they have. They have Thuram, Barcola, Kante on the bench. I mean, Cherki. Like, this is a team that is just so stacked. So I understand wanting the rhythm, but I also would expect them in the second half to make those changes just to give those players those minutes.
They are the one team in the competition, right, that doesn't have to worry about it. Norway's got to worry about if they lose Erling Haaland, if they lose Odegaard, if they lose Sorloth. They got to worry about all these guys. Not that you want anybody to get hurt, but this is the team that gets hurt the least if they drop somebody. You can make an argument for Mbappe, right, because he's one of those guys that can flip a game on its head, right, in a moment. But the rest of these guys, there's somebody behind them. This is truly a team that's got 2 players at each position, Nige.
The bench, you can start a whole new nation. Let's just have a whole new nation as well.
Even the players left at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Truly. Speaking
Keep
of
out for Acluge as well. Really talented player as well on the bench for France.
Speaking of rhythm, we obviously know France will have that today. We'll see with Norway with all the changes, but the fans definitely have it, don't they? This is in Oslo, by the way, all of the fans rowing. I mean, this is incredible. We've seen it in Times Square.
Oh, we were just there.
So, Pop,
World Women's Champions League, that's incredible.
I saw this live at MetLife the other night. The most amazing part of it was they do this 3 or 4 times a game. Was they were to my right, and by the time they got to the 4th time, all the Senegalese fans on the other side were rowing as well. It was unbelievable.
Amazing.
It was so much fun to watch.
That's incredible. That's one of those things that you just love to see even as a neutral fan, right? What about their lineup today with all these changes?
Yeah, I think it's 10 changes all in all. I think Berg is the only guy that stays, changing goal, changing the back 4, right? So it's going to be a little bit iffy. There's an issue here at right back. If you remember in the Senegal game, Ryerson from Dortmund went out with the injury. It was Peterson that came in and scored the first goal. So Arsnes is a guy that plays for Jose Mourinho in Benfica. He normally plays in the midfield. That's where he started a couple games. So they got something to sort out here. Guy with a lot of speed, a guy that an engine. He certainly is filling a role here today for Ståle Solbakken. And Schelderup is another guy with speed. Strand Larsen we know from the Premier League. A talented team, but certainly not nearly as deep as we see with France. So with the changes here, they're going to be really, really affected. I don't know what to expect from this side today. We saw last night with the U.S., the rhythm gets broken when you make that many changes. I would guess we're going to see a little bit of that as well, Nige, in this team. It's just so hard to change that many players.
Yes, it is so hard to get the consistency in the team, but I think I'm going to looking for a disciplined performance by this Norway side. Going to be trying to be hard to break down. They're probably going to be more a low block, and then they've got the option to counter-attack. And the main key player for me is Oscar Bob, 22. Big fan of him. He's gone to Fulham, had some injury issues, was at Manchester City, but he's a top talent. Strand Larsen can still be a target man. Still got a lot of room to improve and get better as a player in his all-round play. Berg, big fan of him for what he's done at Bodø Glimt. Really good, talented midfield player, gets on the ball, comfortable in tight areas. But when you look at the athleticism and the dynamism of this French side, it's going to be a problem. So I would have to say for Norway, they have to be disciplined in their approach. Hard to break down. And then Bob, and his pace could be a key for them.
Do you think we'll see Erling Haaland come on around the 60th minute, or do you think it's just completely rest and recover for them?
I mean,
today?
I would love to see him come in. I think if you're a player of his caliber as well in this tournament, you want to come on for at least 30 minutes and you want to feed the beast. He's on a goal-scoring streak. Why not let him come in and try to have some effectiveness? But when I'm looking at this lineup and think about who they're going to face, Nigel, I agree. I think they need to sit low, be incredibly disciplined, and then it's about hitting on the counter, trying to get set pieces, getting corners. This is a tall team as well. I think that's going to be their opportunity to attack, but they're not going to have the joy of the ball in this match.
Pop, I wonder if they go late in this game, 60, 70 minutes, they're still drawn, and maybe they have an opportunity to win the group. Do they maybe throw a couple guys on? I don't know. It just seems weird to make this many changes for this team, but you never know.
Listen, 60 minutes not to concede against that French attacking lineup with a makeshift right back as well. Let's understand that. And then when you play top levels,
makeshift back five. Yeah.
So if you are Elise or one of the wingers there, and you look ahead of you, you're like, okay, he's not really a regular player there. You're going to be licking your lips to say, oh, I'm going to take you for a ride. Let's see how you
think we'll see them, Nigel, or no?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think probably 20, 30 minutes you'll see them, but they're not going to be playing at full pelt. I think that they'll come on and just get some minutes under their belt into this last game before you go on. But the lineup tells me enough of what they're thinking.
If they're down 2 or 3-0, you think we see any of these guys at all? I would guess not.
I would still say yes, just to get
maybe
a bit
20
of minutes under their belt. It'll be minutes under your belt. It'll be go out, run around, but don't do anything silly.
I think it's like what we saw with Christian Pulisic coming in for 20, 30 minutes.
Yes.
Just get into the rhythm of the game, get those high-speed intervals that you need, and be ready for the next one.
Yeah, be ready for the knockouts, which both of these teams are in. I think the neutrals want to see Mbappe and Haaland, the key players. Speaking of key players, after the break, we're going to talk about what it takes to go to the World Cup as a captain with a few of our own who have donned that armband on the international stage. We'll be back in just a sec.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others, but they're not like us. We need to get out of here now.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it? A crowd here feels electric.
Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back, everybody, to Golazo Matchday 48 Nations. We have got Tony Meola, who captained the U.S. men's national team at the 1994 World Cup in the States. Nigel Reo-Coker, who wore the armband for England under-21s at Wembley. The first ever match, by the way, for England at Wembley. And Darian Jenkins as well, who captained multiple times in the women's game. So 3 well-established captains for this Captain's Corner. Tones, we want to talk about the difference, really, between captaining domestically and then at the international level. What does it take to be a captain in the biggest tournament in world football, like the World Cup?
Yeah, I never thought about it like separating from club and country, right, until we were talking about it in the green room. And I think they're totally different. Right? When you're with your club, it's an everyday thing. You're kind of looking around the dressing room. You're the eyes and ears maybe for the manager. If there's a problem with the team, you have more communication with the manager. My experience at the international level was you were just sort of a figurehead, like a leader, because you're not around the guys all the time. You really can't influence how things are done on a daily basis. You don't see them all that much. And in 1994, we had a different dynamic. We had half the team that was playing in the U.S., and then we didn't see the international guys, but I was one of the only guys, it was myself and Marcelo Balboa pretty much, that had played with both sets of guys. So it was like the bridge between the two. So maybe it was a little different responsibility than some, but I think you have more of an influence at the club level, because you're there every day, you're hearing about who's got an issue and who's got a problem, you put your arm around them, that type of thing. And at the international level, you're just kind of that guy, the guy who speaks last, right, before you got to the dressing room. And I always took it as an honor that the coach thought that that was a responsibility that they thought that I could handle. And it was a pretty big honor, because when I think of the number of people who have played in the World Cup, relative to the people who have played soccer, is very little. The number of people that have captained in a World Cup is even smaller, and then the number of people that have captained a home side in a World Cup is even smaller. So for me, it's just a huge honor.
Yeah, it was the perfect mix. Did you feel more pressure, by the way, at a World Cup?
No, because I thought I had a pretty good grasp of all the players. We all respected each other. I've told you off air that 94 team was as close a team as I have ever been on. Right. And yeah, maybe there was a little bit, that was the youth in us, if you will, like that really meant something. So, yeah, I didn't feel any more pressure, other than you're always at the press conference. You're always doing the appearances at the embassies when you go someplace. You're doing all those things. But, no, I didn't. That group was so good.
What about you, Nige? Because the unique thing about your story in particular is how young you were when you were given the captain's armband. We always talk about managers and do they have the respect of the changing room being a young manager. Was it difficult for you to be a young captain in any way?
Probably I wasn't thinking about it. I just knew what I was. And people have always complimented me to say I was a natural born leader. So first you have to earn the respect of your teammates, and then that's what it is, what Tony says, the familiarity. So it's how you carry yourself in the training ground, how you train, how you apply yourself, and how you play in the games. Then your teammates have to respect you, because the manager made that decision and gave me the responsibility to be captain. And then the teammates fall in line because they see that I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be, and I'm acting like the leader that a leader's supposed to be. Like Tony says, that when you make that transition to international level, it's different. You're not with these guys as much. You don't know the personalities really deep. I feel there's more responsibility, more pressure, because it's international football, and it's also you are more of a figurehead. And it's kind of getting that balance right of being the figurehead, the leader, more from a footballing standpoint than really a chemistry and a togetherness as you would have in a domestic level. So I think that the level of responsibility is a lot higher international level compared to domestic club-wise, because also you've got to deal with bigger personalities. These are supposed to be the best of the best, representing the nation. So there's bigger personalities, bigger egos, and bigger characters that you have to deal with, who some might have a big personality like yourself. So then there's more pressure to manage these players in a dressing room than there would be domestically, because domestic football, you're not all the best.
But by the way, was there a bigger honour to do it for your country over club football? Did you ever think about it that way, or were you more so just thinking it's an honour both ways to be club and country?
It's definitely an honor.
It's honor. Yeah. I think I took more pride in being a leader rather than a captain. A captain was a band that the manager gave me because he thought, piece. Yeah, and it looks nice in my trophy case now and all that stuff. But I think I took more pride in leading by example on a daily basis than I did wearing the armband. I felt like if I didn't have the armband, I would still have taken the same responsibility that I did, having an armband. I mean, no doubt, it's great, but that's how I looked at it.
From club to country, did you, you're saying, yes, there was a different type of responsibility and expectation, but did that change the way that you led in any way, being more vocal, or was it, I just have to lead by example? No,
it does change it because of the quality of players that you're playing with. So there's elements you have to do with it, but again, it's a case-by-case scenario. It depends on the squad of players that you're playing with and what sort of like. For instance, Michael Richards, I was his captain when he first came in to the England national team. So I was with Michael Richards, Ashley Young, James Milner, David Bentley, all of these players, I was their captain at international level. And I know they had different big personalities. The manager, Peter Taylor, encouraged us to socialise and hang out. At times, we probably got in a bit of trouble where we shouldn't have been, but we had a great chemistry and togetherness. And then
you leading by example in every way.
The chemistry and togetherness is a big part at international level. And we had a different feel in the under-21s than when I got called up to the senior side. And then like some of these past senior players are talking about now, about never really a togetherness, the North and South divide in different clubs. I saw that when I went to that senior team. And then now obviously you've heard the likes of Stevie Gerrard talk about it, how it was. That's the reality. So again, it's more of a case-by-case scenario and how managers work to get teams together. We talk about Gareth Southgate with what he did with England, getting them together, a more unified team. You talk about Thomas Tuchel now, so that plays a part. But there is a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibility at international level than domestic level, because you're going to see these guys every day.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, because we didn't have sort of the hatred between clubs that they had there. And I saw Stevie G and I saw John Terry talk about it.
Jamie Carragher's
mentioned recently that you're killing each other in a derby or a big match on the weekend, and now you get together with the national team. See, we didn't have that element, right? You guys had that element to deal with, so that's got you. Like, I think the manager has to pick the right guy, because
it makes it tougher.
You're marrying those two groups
for
to
be a bit of a neutral.
10 days, maybe.
Because I was interested, even as an outsider looking in, listen to them say it was really difficult for them to put it aside. They couldn't. They were so invested in their Premier League clubs that they couldn't let it go when they got to England.
I found that so hard, though, because that's what I didn't understand myself. So obviously, again, the players that I played with was Leighton Baines and stuff. So we line up in the tunnel, we play in the Premier League game, and you want to have a laugh and a joke, and then they'll pretend like they didn't know you. They'll be like that. And I didn't understand it. I'm like, we played together for England. This is a different game, but still, we could still be able to be cordial. And I always find it fascinating when I look at the Brazilian players back in those days. They would embrace each other. It could be a Milan derby, and all the Brazilian legends would be embracing each other, still go and be competitive, but still have that greater connection to represent the nation. And England never had that, which was quite.
Do you think with England it's just proximity?
It's a bit of everything. I think it's been embedded in you. It's tribalism as well. The clubs, the cities, where Liverpool, Manchester, and it's just been in there so much historically. But still, I feel you can still be competitive, but still understand to embrace each other. But they still couldn't take that competitiveness element out of it, of you're Man U, you're Liverpool, you're this, you're that. They couldn't take it out, which was difficult, and I felt that it was a problem for the national team.
I think especially because so many of them were boyhood clubs, like Jamie Carragher, Steven Gerrard. It was such a big thing. It's interesting as well when you look at where the captains are playing on the pitch in the World Cup by position, because only 8% of them are goalkeepers, 37% defenders, 24% midfielders, and 31% forwards. Has this ever come into your mind?
I'm actually surprised about that.
Thank God we're not having more goalkeepers as captains. It's great.
I'm surprised that there's more forwards than midfielders, honestly. I think that's such a position that you go through deeper waves of confidence faltering. And when you're a leader on a team, that's not, I mean, at least teams I've been on, when I captained, it was very inconsistently. I always had managers that switched it around. I would think it'd be more so midfielders, defenders that would primarily be the captains.
I'm not surprised about the forwards, if I'm honest. I think that I'll move with the times and society, and I think it's more of a stats data thing now, and goal scorers, and everyone, whether it's clubs and companies and corporations, want goal scorers and match winners. So now all of a sudden they're becoming more captains than your regular standard, probably midfielder, defender, and goalkeeper. I would always say probably defenders and midfielders are the main two that are generally captains. Goalkeepers do become captains, but it's when they're more senior, really older figures. Not Tony. I'm just saying.
I wonder if we did, took all 48 teams and you watch them and can figure out, were those the leaders in that group, right? Like, and they just happen to be in different positions, right? Because I'm assuming we're going to look at Mo Salah at Egypt, and he's a leader in the group, right? So he fits in that category. Yeah, that would be really, really interesting. But yeah, it's goalkeeper discrimination.
Tony, what do you
it's
say?
When they get older, goalkeepers have to reach a certain level of maturity.
What do you say to people, though, that say captains can't be goalkeepers because you can't see enough of the pitch from the back, because there is that narrative,
right? And the narrative always was that the captains had a privilege to talk to the referees. There's never been a law written in FIFA that the captains have a privilege to talk. It was a privilege that the referees were giving the captains to say, hey, you take care of your group. Yeah, but they don't have to be old. I was 23 in 1994, Nigel. If that's old, then I'll take it, I guess, right? So.
Can you believe the one moment we're giving Nigel credit for being young, now he's calling everyone else old?
I just said goalkeepers, but no.
It's just Tony then, is what you're saying. We're going to be right back here on Golazo Matchday 48 Nations in just a sec. Everybody stay with us.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now.
Open your eyes. Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric.
Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, it might be easy to forget just how big the United States is, especially with Mexico and Canada, the games taking place all over the country, which has made some really interesting routes, hasn't it, for a lot of these teams. We were just talking about Bosnia and Herzegovina a couple of days ago, and I think maybe, Darian, the most interesting thing for them is the fact that they have had to travel the furthest of any team in the World Cup. Their home base, by the way, is over on the West Coast. They had to go all the way to Canada for one of their games. Then they've been back and forth, and then they've gone to Seattle. They've been in Inglewood, California, Santa Clara, all while going back and forth to Utah to their base camp. This has been a lot of miles.
That's where I grew up as well, Sandy, Utah. Shout out. No, I think it's really interesting whenever I, speak with players from Europe or overseas that come play in the U.S. and how difficult it is to deal with the travel, what that means for your body, your rest, your recovery on a plane, even dealing with the time zones is really difficult, and getting back into your sleep rhythm. And the fact that Bosnia and Herzegovina are having this trajectory and this roadmap to where they are is pretty incredible despite all of that, because we can talk about the U.S. players, and a lot of those guys grew up here. They're used to it. They grew up in the academies. They played in the MLS. You kind of have that rhythm. You know the routines that you have to have in order to feel good waking up on game day or just going to training. And this team, despite all of that, is doing all right.
Just to put into perspective as well, by the way, it's like going for them from Canada all the way to the West Coast would be the equivalent of flying from London to New York, right? Maybe even further here. So they've basically been flying all that way for these games and then darting around on the West Coast. How much does that take out of you, Tones, traveling?
Well, that's the equivalent of, I think, when you were in Vancouver, probably flying to Florida and back in a weekend to play a game, right? So that's playing the game here in the U.S. That's playing sports here professionally in the U.S. Every professional sports league deals with this travel. But I know if you live in Europe, it just seems like a lot, right? Because in England, it's mostly bus rides everywhere. But yeah, it's long, but I don't feel bad for the way that they travel right now, right?
That's
Chartered
true.
planes aren't all that bad.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's an adjustment, though.
I agree that the biggest thing is the time zones. That's what hurts the players the most. But these guys are very well looked after compared to us.
Canada as well, by the way. Now they don't have the luxury of staying at home in Canada because they thought they were going to win the group, which would have meant they could stay in the north, but now they are going to be all over the place. Guess who else is all over the place? Our very own Nico Cantor. As we know, he is going all over in the RV, and he's been on the road from KC to Miami lately. He's going 5,798 miles, and he is in the middle of all of it right now on the RV. Nico, good to see you. You're looking great. How is it going?
Yeah, not bad, Poppy. This country really is ginormous. Something that the European mind could never comprehend. Just making calculations. I remember when Kairat Almaty was drawn into the league phase of this past Champions League campaign, and people were going crazy that we are getting our longest road trip in Champions League history between Sporting Lisbon and Kairat Almaty, all the way from the shores of Portugal deep into Kazakhstan. MLS players like Tony and Nigel said, it happens. Vancouver to Miami is the longest road trip that exists. So the fact that these teams travel this much, it's not surprising. It is a lot, especially when it spans 3 countries. Like the area of like if you stretch the corners, right? Vancouver, Miami, Guadalajara, that whole area of the World Cup is larger than Europe. This is the biggest World Cup ever, and just the United States in and of itself is massive.
It's insane, Nico, how vast it is when you put that into perspective. We're going to put something else into perspective for you as well and compare your miles to some of the teams that have traveled the longest distances. Let's have a look at where you stand. You're at the top. You've even gone further than Bosnia and Herzegovina. Can you believe that?
That's unreal. Hey, and on top of that, I'm doing it on an RV, except I don't have to play high-pressure matches on the other side when I arrive in the cities. All I do is have fun. Although this trip is very physically demanding. I don't want to understate that, but the true legends are the guys on the pitch. But that is pretty remarkable. I'm interested to see how many miles we rack up at the end of this trip. We're not even 50% of way there yet. Obviously, Northeast, it'll get a little bit easier. But after we go to New York, I think we're coming back down to Miami for another leg. So we'll see how many miles that ends up happening. I think the over-under's at 12,500 right now.
Nico, clearly it would have been a lot easier to fly to all of these cities, right? You're doing it in an RV. What's been sort of the benefit of maybe what you've learned along the way that would have been different had you been flying this route here?
Yeah, for sure, Tony. Listen, I've had to have a lot of zen, just from a mentality perspective, and a lot of peace of mind, not having to text our coordinating producer, Mike Nastri, whose idea it was to put me on this thing for 41 days and yell at him, right? It's a lot of peace, a lot of patience. I'm kidding. Listen, it's a lot of time to watch football. It's a lot of time to prep for whatever city we're going to and really get a full idea of what we're getting into, and sometimes that's not even enough. Like, Kansas City took me by storm. I didn't know what to expect, even though I was fully prepped, ready to go with all of our ideas. What a beautiful city, man. What a beautiful story it has, and the world coming to these cities, you can't prep for that, right? They react differently to every single demographic of every single country that arrives. So in Miami, although it is my hometown, we've had a lot of time to think about what we're gonna do, but the Colombian fans go back to Hard Rock after the disaster at Copa America. We'll see how, there's so much you can prep for that, and hopefully it's we get a beautiful display of Colombian support and of course of Portuguese support. They're playing as well for the top of the group. So even in your own country, Tone, you can learn so much about it just because how big it is.
Nico, I've loved watching your journey, and especially with Kansas City. I loved playing there. I think it's such a rich culture. It's very underrated, I think, in the U.S. But you got to try some barbecue. Has that been your favorite place that's had the best food so far, or what has been?
Yeah, I do think Kansas City has been the best food so far. Obviously, I can't go crazy in every single city that we're at because you're on the go a lot, right? It's this is a soccer tour, not an eating tour. Although I would love it to be much more of an eating tour, but I think it's just different. I was telling Tony last night, Darian, I don't know if y'all had burnt ends. It's a very tender cut that comes apart, but I had pastrami burnt ends yesterday. Wow, I've never had anything like that. It was so good, so unique, and it gives Argentine asado, Argentine barbecue, a run for its money. It really does. It doesn't beat it, but man, it's just the technique, the preparation, the love, the soul. Really, I think that's what it is. It's the soul that goes into cooking the food, because you can cook to cook, but then you can cook for the love of the art, right? Like, it's like going onto the pitch. You can play and put a couple passes together, but when you feel the game, when someone's just a master at their craft, you just love watching them play. That's when it takes it to another level.
Nico, I'm sorry. I expect the next barbecue at your house, but by the way, this guy can cook.
That's what I was about
on the grill. There must be. He is a barbecue expert. There has to be some pastrami burnt ends. At least we got to try it, Nico. We got to give it a shot.
You're very good at your barbecue.
Yeah, I've never really tried doing Kansas City barbecue. I've got to sit down with a Kansas Cityite or Kansas Cityan, and I want to learn the ropes, because obviously I think I back myself in cooking a good Argentine barbecue. I think I can do it pretty well, and I think you guys will get a taste of that in a couple of days. But that's just one version. It's like playing. Look, you can play catenaccio really, really well, and that can get you places. But then try to play tiki-taka. It's different, so it's just a different style, and everybody has what they like. So maybe one day, Tone, I got to get on that. Pastrami burnt ends. That's going to be crazy if I add that to my repertoire.
So, Nico, just before we let you go, 2 questions from me. One, what are you most looking forward to seeing or doing in Miami, apart from obviously seeing your family? Is there anything in particular? And second question, are you finally trivia'd out yet? Because for those that don't know, Nico likes to ask everybody and anybody trivia questions 24/7, no matter the topic, no matter if it's about football. You've probably been in your element. Have you had enough of the trivia yet?
No, you know, I'm never trivia'd out. There's two things in life that I'll never get sick of: mate and trivia. You can come at me all day with the trivia, Poppy. One of our producers, Mateo Zulis, did a really good job of putting my trivia to the test, and him versus me, it was really fun. And what I'm looking forward to in Miami is just driving home the thesis of this whole project in my city, because I feel like a lot of people say that Miami isn't a part of the United States, it's a part of Latin America. But my argument is that there's this dynamic between all of these Latin American countries and the culture that's built in Miami. It can't happen in any other place except the United States. I'm going to get together with my friends from all of these different countries, right? From Argentina, from Colombia, from Venezuela. Shout out to Venezuela, by the way, who's suffering an incredible tragedy. I'm going to get to talk to some of my friends and see how they are. That shouldn't go understated, because we are together in all of this as Latinos, but friends from Ecuador, Mexico, all over. And it's the quintessential American experience, because you go to Argentina, you only hang out with Argentines. You go to Colombia, you only hang out with Colombians. In Miami, in an American city, you can get such a rich pan-Latin upbringing, learn so much about so many different cultures, and I'm so grateful for that. And I want the world to understand. Yes, sure, sometimes I speak Spanish, and my accent sounds like I'm maybe not from here. I am proudly from the United States, from a city called Miami that has given me a childhood and an upbringing that no other country can give me. And I hope that's what I make people understand, and soccer's the way to help people see that.
Well said, Nico. I absolutely love that. Can't wait to see you in Miami. We can't wait to speak to you soon. Enjoy the rest of the trip there.
Bye, guys.
See you later. Okay, everybody stay with us. We'll be back in just a sec here on Golazo Matchday 48 Nations.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric.
Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back, everybody. Loads of football to look forward to today. The weather has been a big talking point, hasn't it, so far in the World Cup? And for more, here's Rob Marciano with a weather report for us.
All right, time for your World Cup forecast. Now coming to you from beautiful Baltimore with the magnificent U.S. Coast Guard cutter Eagle, tall ship behind me. Let's get to the games that are on the docket today. We've got a game in Seattle, Vancouver, Toronto, Boston, and Houston. And even though Houston's got a covered stadium, the fans got to get there. They got to go to Fan Fest. So we'll start with that one. Cape Verde against Saudi Arabia, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And leading up to that, a Fan Fest is going to be the 90s, so it will be sweaty. And then heading into the later games in Guadalajara, Mexico, Uruguay versus Spain. That's going to be spicy for sure. There's a chance of thunderstorms early, so we'll see if they linger into kickoff around the dinner hour, depending on where you are in the world. Your dinner hour is different. But Egypt versus Iran today, that's happening in Seattle. Kickoff at 6:30. Looks to be pretty good there. But just up the road in Vancouver, there's a chance for some rain showers. No lightning there expected, so they will play the game. Looking ahead to tomorrow, 6 games. A lot of them are on the East Coast. And places like Philadelphia and New York, you will see some rainfall. Miami, too. The question is, will there be lightning? We'll just have to wait and see. Kansas City may see a little bit more in the way of action. So tomorrow looks to be more dicey weather-wise, but either way, good luck to all the countries playing the games over the next 48 hours. I'm Rob Marciano, CBS News meteorologist, coming to you from Baltimore, Maryland. Back to you.
Rob, thank you very much. So the table looks like this. In Group I, France and Norway have already qualified. Senegal and Iraq still with a chance to advance, but they have to win today to put themselves with an opportunity to play in the knockouts. The Senegal fans, they're ready. They have been amazing, haven't they, all tournament long. This is a look at them ahead of their game against Iraq. This is the scenes we really love to see, isn't it? The passion, the commitment, the support, the dedication, and obviously as well, Tony, they're hoping that they're going to finish today in one of those third-place finishes.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think the table eventually ends up like the same way it is right now. But Senegal's got some goals to make up, right? They've got to catch. They've got a chance to catch Croatia along the way with some goals. South Korea, Algeria, Scotland is the first team that they need to catch. They could actually end up in 6th place in that the third-place standing group, right, of the 8 teams at the end of the day. So they've got some work to do. Mbaye gets to start today. He's come off the bench on that right side. He's been really good over his substitution period. Sadio Mane, I think they obviously need more of him. We talked about leaders a little bit earlier, right, and captains. This is a guy that needs to step up, and he's made a couple changes to this lineup. Koulibaly's had a really tough competition, so he goes to the bench today. He came out. He was pulled in that last game against Norway. So a couple of changes for the manager, but they got to score some goals here.
They really have. Iraq, on the other hand, they've got to score some goals as well, Nigel, because they're in the same situation, and this is just a look at all of their fans swarming ahead of kickoff.
Yes, Iraq definitely is. It's very simple, and you love these type of situations when your players win and you're in. Very simple. Don't have to be complicated. When you look at this Iraq side, they're going for a basic 4-4-2. It's going to be about being hard to beat, hard to break down, but it's all about Ali Hamidi, number 9, the striker. He needs to be the one that scores the goals. All the responsibilities on him. Very difficult. They're a team. That's the best way to describe this Iraq side. Really team spirit, team dimensional. But Ali Hamidi is going to be responsible for scoring the goal.
Who are you going for today, Nige? Are you going for Iraq or Senegal?
Senegal. Yeah. I think Senegal too dynamic. For me, I agree with Tony in the sense of Mane needs to do more. I think we're still just leaving too much on Mane of Liverpool and what he's done previously, but now needs to give more. I think this Senegal team for me is more about Sarr. Sarr's the one that has to be taking responsibility.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with the Senegal side. I want to see them put together a full 90-minute performance, though, from front to back. That's where they're going to advance. That's where they're going to gain confidence. They can't just have those spark moments where they're brilliant defensively and then drop off and be brilliant attacking. We need a full team performance. Yeah,
they were 60 minutes good against France, match they won. They were 20 minutes good against Norway. They got to put this whole thing together right now and score some goals.
Yeah, they have. Enjoy the match, everybody. We'll see you very shortly here on Golazo Matchday 48 Nations.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.